What's going on YouTube? It's your boy NY Jumpman23 from WearTesters.com, here to give you a performance review of what you've all been waiting for, the Kobe 11. First and foremost, let's go straight into it with the traction. What Nike has stated that the Flyknit upper attaches directly into the outsole of the shoe. So the design pattern, it's features with like a pioneering tread and traction pattern, because Eric Avon and Kobe Bryant are just obsessed with the basis of nuances of court feel and grip, which they do a great job. If you play on an NBA court or like an NCAA type court, you know it's always clean. It's always waxed and always mopped and whatnot. For consumers like us, for traction patterns like this, once it grips the court tightly and heavily, it pulls all the dust particles and it can stick in between the shoes. So you're constantly finding yourself wiping the shoe every time you're walking down the court. I do that generally on a regular basis on shoes, but not as often as I do on this. Oftentimes I actually had to change out of the shoe because I was causing too much slippage in between games. And you know, the massive amount of slippage can cause you like any type of injuries and stuff like that. So although the traction pattern works extremely well, just not on a basis if you're not playing on a prestige court like an NBA court or an NCAA court. But overall, even if you play outdoors, this traction is great, but it's definitely not going to last you long. You can see it's almost like fused in the middle, as you can see this particle. Whereas as soon as your foot touches the court, it's supposed to give you a natural like one-to-one feel as soon as you're pressing down on the court. So it's supposed to grip down on the floor, which makes it work very well. Unfortunately, the way the rubber pattern is designed on the shoe, it pulls up too much dust. So I'm not too overly happy about that. I'm pretty sure Nike in future references, if they do see this, they're going to be like, all right, we know what to do now. Nike's very smart about that. I don't put it against any other designers, especially Eric Avon, because they know they want a shoe to fit perfectly and work perfectly for the basketball player themselves, especially Kobe, being that it's his last year, but maybe even our future models and references. So there you go on the traction. Next up we have, of course, is the cushion setup. The Kobe 11 utilizes a drop-in midsole right here with a heel zoom unit for a lot of impact protection and a newly designed lunar forefoot groove zoom with inspired by like free technology. It gives you a really natural motion in regards to flexing, forefoot flexing in regards to that. I like the setup. It works great. It could be better only for the fact that I prefer something with a lot more cushioning. I prefer if they implemented these pods right here, like the way it's flexed, if they implemented little zoom units, maybe, if they're able to do that. I'm pretty sure Nike and future references will be able to. If they integrated zoom podding right here, or just a zoom unit for just a four-foot cushion setup, it would be great. I'm 6'1", 200 plus pounds. I play multiple positions. So upon getting a rebound or landing off a layup or so forth and whatnot, I need that impact protection. It's a lot easier on the knees when you have 4-foot zoom, and it's overall, I mean, the design works great. The last time this type of setup was utilized for a lunar forefoot and a zoom heel was actually, if you do remember or you don't remember, here's a little nostalgia, is a Nike Hyperdunk 2008. This setup was utilized back in, of course, 2008 when the USA team wore this to get the gold medal back for the USA. This design in itself is actually a Supreme Nike Hyperdunk Kobe model. There's only like a couple made, so a couple hundred made, so this is one of the prized possessions that I own. The second shoe that utilized that, if you don't remember, here's a little bit of nostalgia again. The Kobe 4. Heel zoom, and 4-foot lunar, but just as a one setup. In regard to the freely inspired 4-foot lunar, this technology was originally utilized, not the cushion itself, but the design itself was previously utilized in the Kobe 2, as you can tell by the free traction pattern. It flexes very well. It's one of my favorite shoes to play in also. So, but that's a little bit of nostalgia for you. The cushion setup is really good, particularly if you're a guard, like to play close to the ground. Onto the materials. Nike has utilized the Flyknit, what they've used in the Kobe 9 and Kobe 10, but more of a natural feel without that glue substance feel. It's more of a natural Flyknit that you see on the Flyknit free shoes and Flyknit runners and trainers and stuff like that. But more reinforced, especially when what Nike has said utilize the thermoplastic polyurethane yarn. What Nightwing and I have actually said is that, which is kind of funny, if you've ever been fishing before, I've seen fishing, the type of threading they use on fishing lines is almost exactly the same what they utilize within the Flyknit shoe. So let me give you a quick look at it. If you can see that it shines with the light, of course it shines off, but the material works. It gives you a great natural lockdown and one-to-one fit. The materials don't stretch, especially when you're doing hard lateral cuts and stuff like that. But overall, I think the materials utilized in the Kobe 11 shoe is really great. I wish this material itself was utilized back in the Kobe 9s and the Kobe 10 Elites. So there you have it. In regards to support, I mean, it's probably one of the most supportive Kobe's to date. I've had every single pair, and it seems like every year it's gotten better and better. You can't really complain about it. A lot of the support and stability comes from just the TPU integrated with the Flywire and the Flyknit overall overlay. The lockdown, the cushioning inside the shoe, and the heel counter. If you can see that with the storyline of the Achilles, the Greek mythology in regards to the warrior. But the support is great. It's wonderful. So it's a shoe I would definitely like to see the overall support design on the exterior and the interior utilized, but the outsole will be another discussion. And final conclusion, on the Kobe 11, I really do like the shoe. I really wish the traction utilized the Kobe 9 traction, but keep the upper. The upper is amazing. In regards to the cushion setup, I wish I would have had 4-foot zoom. It's a lot easier on the knees upon impact and foot placement, you know, when you do layups and jumping off a rebound, planting your foot and landing. But on Nike ID, you have the ability, if you're concerned about the cushioning, or depending on how you like to play, I would, you know, there's an ability to get the full length zoom, which is awesome on Nike ID. Also, if you're worried about the traction, you could consider utilizing the XDR traction, which is a more denser and harder rubber. It gives you the ability to play outdoors or indoors, but it's a more harder rubber and it sticks to the ground really well. Although the XDR traction might not help so much, only for the fact based upon the pattern that's utilized on the design on the outsole. So that's a little bit of a concern. This is not shots fired towards Nike. I love Nike shoes. I love this upper design. I'm just not a fan of the traction pattern utilized because it picks up so much dust. The shoe does work well if you play in a prestige court like an NBA type court or an NCAA court or a high school court that always gets cleaned, mopped, and waxed almost every day or every other day. The shoe would work extremely well for you because it grips to the ground really thoroughly. Overall, I hope you do like the review. Make sure you keep it locked. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, share it. I'll have my social media handles from Instagram and Twitter. You can shoot me questions and comments and stuff like that. Also, leave comments down in the section in the YouTube video to let me know what you think. Or if you have any other alternate questions about the shoe or hopefully just pertaining to the shoe. In regards to other subjects, we'll leave that for somewhere else. But this is MY Jumpman 23 signing out for WearTesters.com. Peace.